The comic book for Year 11 Season 1 is finally here. We get to see the conclusion of Sam and Snake's mission, Operation Silent Hunt, and finally learn the true reason why Sam came to Rainbow. I hope you're enjoying this absolutely gorgeous comic cover which comes with this. I want this on my wall, but let's jump straight into this comic book. So this comic book begins 5 years prior to the present day. This sort of helps us pinpoint the R6 lore timeline and when Sam joined, for example, and how long he was actually a part of the team. But in this first panel, we can see Sam Fisher inside of his car, and when he tries to start it, it explodes. Now, obviously, Sam's not going to be taken out this easy, but it's clear that someone made a trap for him, and he was able to escape it. The next panel shows a year later, where Sam has now joined Rainbow, and he's got a message from Harry saying, "Welcome to the team, Sam. If your investigation needs any assistance, my door is always open." Now, we always knew that Sam Fisher joined Rainbow because he was on the run from an unknown threat, and we're getting to see that in the first panel. And while Sam was at Rainbow, he was investigating this person, he was keeping tabs on them, and now that 4 years has passed, Harry is dead, Rainbow is no more, this threat, which we know is Eidolon, is back on Sam's radar, and it's time to stop him. But with no one else to turn to, he calls in his old friend, Solid Snake. "Seems dangerous," says Snake. "Dangerous enough for you to ask for my help. There's no one else I could trust to handle this," replies Sam. We can see that what Snake is holding is a dossier on Eidolon, with some specifics talking about a satellite disruptor malware, codename SDM. Snake goes on to say, "Your target's careful. Set up contingencies. Several off-grid facilities to make access keys. Looks like they grant the user control over the malware. Are there any in the wild?" "Just one," replies Sam. "It's up for sale at an underground auction at the Calypso. So where to after we secure it?" replies Snake. Then it cuts to the present day, but remember, in between this period is when we see that CGI trailer of Sam and Snake at Calypso Casino in Vegas, and we actually now learn why Calypso Casino is relevant to the story. There was an underground auction happening at Calypso Casino, selling one of the access keys to harness the power of this malware. Considering it's a satellite disruptor malware, you could seemingly topple nations with this, given how strong it sounds. Now, this is of course when we see Sam infiltrate Calypso Casino in the cinematic, and not only does he find the access key, he also finds a bioweapon. And after confirming with Snake that they both escaped, he tells him that he needs to make a detour before they rendezvous at Greenland. And we'll see that detour later in this comic, but let's cut to Greenland in the present day, where, if I'm not wrong, I think Sam and Snake are doing a Halo jump, as they secretly make their way into Eidolon's facility in Greenland. After taking out the guards at the gate, Sam initiates his goggles, and we overhear two of Eidolon's men, one of them saying, "Boss is paranoid, no one's out here." But how wrong could this man be? As Sam and Snake continue to make their way through here undetected, we have a fun little Metal Gear exclamation mark moment when Sam and Snake notice a camera. As one of Eidolon's men nears their location, Snake takes out a camera which diverts the man's attention, and Sam slits this man's throat from behind. The two men then split up, with us seeing Sam doing his most Splinter Cell-esque move so far, perching himself on the top of two walls as a man approaches behind him and is taken out. And that is when Sam is now face to face with Eidolon. "Fisher! How?" he says. "I'm stubborn, Eidolon," Sam replies. "You should have tried harder. Calypso was you, wasn't it?" But before he finishes his sentence, Sam interrupts saying, "Figured you might want this back, seeing as you can't sell your malware without it," as Sam presents him the access key. Little did Sam know, as they were talking, Eidolon was reaching for an emergency button. As the alarm begins to blare, he says, "Hand over my key, and I'll make sure your death's quick." But Sam continues to talk. "Peru, Chad, Dubai, your facilities are gone. All that work. Too bad this is the last one." "Enough!" screams Eidolon. "My guards," but before he can finish, Solid Snake enters and finishes his sentence for him, "have already been handled, and the rest of your backups a few minutes away." Eidolon, realizing he's at a checkmate, begins to bargain. "Think about this, Sam. SDM is worth the kind of money that makes a man untouchable. The kind of money that changes the world. Join me, you'll be free. You can finally rest." "Quit stalling, Eidolon," says Sam. "You've seen the corpses I've walked through to get here," replies Eidolon. "You think I wouldn't have a final failsafe?" Eidolon raises his phone, showing the malware is ready to upload. Sam raises his weapon. Give me the malware or I'll shoot. This is what you really care about, isn't it? Replies Eidolon. Always the hero. You're right about one thing, he continues to say. Selling SDMs is off the table. These lives are on you, Fisher, as Eidolon clicks the upload button. Upload protocol initiated. Motion security armed. Just then, 2 automated turrets spring up from the floor and the 3 men all dive. Eidolon begins his escape, where Snake shouts to Sam, "Go after him! I'll handle the rest." Sam passes Snake the access key, and in classic Metal Gear style, Snake throws an empty magazine at the 2 turrets, causing them to begin a barrage of bullets, ultimately ending up hitting each other. He uses his pistol to do a finishing blow to the turrets, while Sam is now in full pursuit of Eidolon. The reinforcements are here, but it's no match for Sam. He's not going to let Eidolon get away. We cut back to Snake, who is currently trying to stop the upload protocol of the malware. As he aborts the process, more of Eidolon's men break into the room. Snake begins to face off against these men as Sam catches up to Eidolon and knocks him to the ground. "What a waste," says Sam. "You could have been a great agent." "Agent," replies Eidolon. "What good has that ever done you?" Another redacted name on the list. "It's better to be infamous, Sam. Never forgotten. Unlike you." "It's over, Eidolon," exclaims Sam. Eidolon raises his weapon, and with a single shot, Sam kills Eidolon. Snake successfully stops the upload, and the 2 men take a moment to rest. "So what's next?" says Solid Snake. "Haven't decided," replies Sam. "Spent so long chasing him. It might be time to give it a rest. Maybe I'll buy a farm." "If only it were that easy," says Snake. "I owe you one, Snake," says Sam. "Just doing my job, Sam," replies Snake. "You don't owe me anything." And with that potentially being the final frame we ever see of Solid Snake in Rainbow Six lore, we cut to 24 hours before this mission in Greenland, where we see Sam's rendezvous he was talking about. We see Sam Fisher handing over the bioweapon he found to none other than Bishop. "I'll handle this one personally, Sam," says Bishop. "Once your job's done, you can always come back. I'll make sure your office is waiting." "I think it'll be a long wait," says Sam. "Goodbye, Bishop." And as this comic book ends, we see Sam walking away, doing a small goodbye to Bishop. But not only does this feel like a goodbye to Bishop here, this feels like a goodbye to Sam Fisher in Rainbow Six lore. Not only is this comic book now the end of Sam and Snake's bottle episode of Rainbow Six lore, because we did know that Operation Silent Hunt was always going to be a self-contained story, a small story about Eidolon and the reason why Sam joined Rainbow to begin with, but if you actually saw my interview with Alex and Josh when this season was announced, it was implied that this was also sort of wrapping up Sam Fisher's story in Rainbow Six lore, at least for the time being. I won't rule out the fact that we may see him in the future, and of course he's still going to be a playable operator in-game, but from a narrative perspective, this world is changing. So much is changing. There's different groups now, or it seems like operators may never join whatever Rainbow we may see in the future. And, at least for the current time, it seems like our story with Sam Fisher ends here. Again, I could be wrong, we could see him in the future, but this does feel like a small goodbye. Now, what an incredible comic book. I can't wait to make an entire, video talking about the entirety of this Operation Silent Hunt from start to finish, but we finally understand why Sam joined Rainbow. His life was in danger. It was Eidolon, and Sam's been working to stop him, and now, thanks to the help of Snake, he's done it. We understand why Calypso Casino was involved in this, and now we're seeing Bishop, and remember, the last time we saw Bishop was in that cinematic where he was getting a call. Now we're seeing a hands-on Bishop where he's, in uniform and gear. Is this the start of the new Rainbow? Are we seeing what could be the brand new roster started by potentially Bishop and, I don't know, a branch of the GSAC? Because remember, Bishop is saying, "I'll make sure your office is waiting and you can come back once your job is done." He may not be talking specifically about Rainbow here, but I wonder what Bishop is doing in the role he is playing. Of course, he now has this bioweapon in his hands. I wonder if this is going to play a greater relevance in the story of this year going forward. And, it just started off in this. Because remember, although this is a bottle episode, although this is a self-contained operation story, there are still larger universe implications here, It's not like this isn't canon. It's just that we're focusing on a specific story with Eidolon, and Eidolon isn't, appearing in the greater lore with our operators. And of course, we are getting Calypso Casino as a playable map next season in Rainbow Six Siege, and it's just really cool going into it, knowing what happened in Vegas, and knowing the relevance of the lore now. I think this comic book absolutely topped off this season. I was really interested to see how this story would come through, and now that we've seen the entirety of this operation now, I am really satisfied with this Snake and Sam story. So make sure you're subbed, because I will make an entire Operation Silent Hunt from start to finish video, probably tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, that was the comic book, an absolutely great one, might be my favorite comic book so far. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video if you did enjoy it, because it does help me. And yeah, sub for more R6 lore content. We're almost at 250k. This was a really nice comic. I love this. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.